Good morning. Today we will learn how to write part program for profile cutting. First, write down the problem. Write a part program to machine the workpiece as shown in figure. Use 4 mm diameter in mill cutter and part depth is 2 mm. The Z equal to 0 is at the top surface of the workpiece. Then you have to draw the part drawing as shown in figure. Here you have to cut a profile on a plate as shown in figure having depth 2 mm. Okay, as shown in figure, first you have to locate the reference point or workpiece 0, which is at the corner of the workpiece as shown in figure, that is x0 z0, that is 0 0 point. First you have to locate the workpiece 0 or reference point. From this point you have to measure all the coordinates of the points. Is it okay? x0 y0 z0, it is at the corner of the workpiece. Then to perform a profile cutting, you have to use a tool which is known as end mill cutter, which having the cutting teeth on its periphery as well as on the one side. Okay, and cutter diameter is 4 mm. You have to use the cutter having diameter 4 mm. As shown in figure, this is a cutter diameter. Small circle is a cutter diameter. This is a cutter position. You have to move the cutter along the profile. That point 1 is at the corner of the workpiece. PS is the starting point. Okay, you have to bring the cutter nearer to the point where we want to start the operation. Our starting point of operation is at point 1. Okay, from point 1 move the cutter along the workpiece, means along the y-axis up to the point y. As shown in figure, there is x and y axis are shown. You have to move the cutter from point 1 to the point 2 along the y-axis. Then from 2 to 3 along the x-axis. Then from 3 to 4 along the y-axis, that is taper line. Okay, that is tool path. And from 4 to 1 or 4 to PS, that is starting point. Thus you can cut a profile as shown in figure. Dotted line shows the tool path. Is it okay? Here, as the diameter of end mill cutter is 4 mm, you have to consider its radius while finding the coordinates. First point, to find the coordinates, you have to find out the coordinates. The first point is starting point, that is PS. It is a starting point. What are the coordinates of the PS? X coordinate is -5, y coordinate is -2. Is it okay? -5 and -2. Then coordinates of the point 1, that is point P1, -2, -2. You have to consider the radius of the cutter, that is -2, -2, means cutter is below the reference point, so that is -2, -2. Then from point 1 to point 2, here you have to move the cutter along the y-axis having the coordinates of point 2, -2, 60 plus radius of the cutter, that is 2, 62. Then from point 2 to 3, move the cutter along the y-axis. Move the cutter along the y-axis. Therefore, coordinates of the point 3, considering the radius of the cutter, length is 120 plus 2. Therefore, x coordinates of the point 3 is 122. Y coordinates remains same, that is 62. Then coordinates of the point 4, here the cutter moves below the reference point. Therefore, coordinates of point 4 is 28. 30 minus cutter radius, that is 28, and y coordinate is minus 1. Is it okay? As the cutter moves below the reference point, therefore y coordinate is minus 2. Is it okay? Thus, you have to find out the coordinates of the point 4. X coordinate is 28. How it is 28? 30 minus 2. 2 is the cutter radius, and y coordinate is minus 2. Then move the tool along the x-axis up to the point 1 or shape position of the tool, that is starting point. Is it okay? We will move the tool to the starting point, mentioning its coordinates minus 5, minus 2. X coordinate is minus 5 and y coordinates is minus 2. After finding the coordinates, you have to write the part program. Is it okay? Do you understand how to find the coordinates? It is okay. Then write the part program as usual. First, give the program number P002, program number. Then first block N010, G28, U0, V0, W0, end of the block, that is tool home position. Okay. The next block is N20, G90, G21, G94, end of the block. G90 means absolute coordinate measuring system, G21 metric system, G94 feed rate in millimeter per minute. Okay. Then third block, you have to start the machine or start the spindle. N030, that is sequence number. M03, start the spindle in clockwise direction at spindle speed 800 rpm, that is S800, and start the coolant M08, end of the block. Is it okay? These three blocks are defining blocks. Then next, you have to bring the tool from machine home position to the starting point. Is it okay? That is known as tool position. First, you have to fix the tool position. Therefore, when the tool moves from machine home position to the starting point, you have to use the rapid traverse, that is code 00. First, move the tool above the workpiece surface with some distance so that it will not touch to the workpiece surface while moving from home position to the starting point. Okay. Therefore, next block N040, G00, Z5, end of the block. This tool is 5 mm above the workpiece surface. Is it okay? Tool is 5 mm above the workpiece surface. Then next block, move the tool to the starting point, that is N050, G00, X minus 5, Y minus 2, end of the block. It okay? Means your tool is reached from home position to the starting point. During this block number 40 and 50, tool position is fixed. Okay. After fixing the tool position, you have to give the depth of cut. While giving the depth of cut, you have to use linear interpolation function, that is G01, followed by the control feed rate. You have to mention the feed rate here. Therefore, block number 60 G01 Z minus 2 depth of cut is 2 millimeter. As it is mentioned in the problem, depth of cut is part depth is 2 millimeter. So Z minus 2 and feed rate is F90, end of the block. Is it okay? Then move the tool. After giving the depth of cut outside the workpiece surface, you can move the tool to the point 1 with linear interpolation function, that is block number 70 N070 G01 x minus 2 y minus 2, end of the block. X minus 2 and y minus 2, these are the coordinates of the point 2. Okay, then you have to move the tool along the y-axis from point 1 to point 2 by mentioning the coordinates of the point 2. What are the coordinates of the point 2? Minus 2 and y coordinate is 62 as shown in coordinate table. As tool is moving along the y-axis, x-axis remains same. Therefore, it is not necessary to mention the x coordinates in the next block. Also, G01 is a model function. It is also remain active in the next block, so that in the block number N080, you can just mention the movement of the tool along the y-axis, that is y62, end of the block. Is it okay? Y62. Then next block N090, tool is moved from point 2 to point 3. You have to find out the coordinates of the point 3, that is x coordinate is 122 and z coordinate, y coordinate is 62. As x coordinates remain same, therefore just mention the y coordinates, that is block number 90 x 20 122, end of the block. Is it okay? That is point 3, means your tool will reach at point 3. Okay, then N100, you have to move the tool from point 3 to 4. It is a taper line. Here you have to use the G01 code. As it is a model function, just you have to mention the coordinates of the point 4. What are the coordinates of the point 4? X coordinate is 28, y coordinate is minus 2. Therefore, in the block number N100, x 28, y minus 2, end of the block. Is it okay? Your tool will reach at point 2. Then to perform the profile cutting along the x-axis, that is point 4 to 1, you can move the tool from 4 to 1, again from 1 to PS, that is starting point, for shape position. Here for easy, we move the tool from point 4 to point PS directly. Instead of writing the again one block, you can move the tool from point 4 to point PS, that is starting point, directly. Therefore, mention the coordinates of the point PS, that is starting point, that is G01 is a model function. Mention the coordinates of the point in the block number N110, x minus 5, y minus 2, end of the block. Is it okay? Here the profile cutting operation is over. Then next you have to retract the tool from the workpiece. It should be reached to this initial position with the rapid traverse. That is block number N120 G00 Z 5 end of the block. Means tool is retracted above the workpiece surface with 5 millimeter distance. Is it okay? Then move the tool to the machine reference point, that is block number N130 G28 end of the block. Is it okay? Then after reaching the tool at machine on position, you can stop the spindle and also stop the coolant. That is block number N140 M05 M09 end of the block. And last block is N150 end of the program, that is M02. Is it okay? It is very simple. First, you have to study the job drawing. After studying the job drawing, find out the tool path or cutter path considering the radius of the end mill cutter. Then find out the coordinates of each and every point. After finding the coordinates, according to your tool path, you can write the program easily. Is it okay? Thank you.